Am I the asshole for telling my sister about what her husband sent me 12 days after I lost my son? Me and my husband lost our baby boy, stillbirth, 12 days ago. It gets increasingly hard for us every day, and we're trying our best to remain calm and surround ourselves with our loved ones who support us during these times. Me and my sister are very close. Very close, and we used to spend the majority of our time together. That is until we both settled down and got married. She still visits and calls. She's been very supportive and understanding, although my brother-in-law, her husband, tends to be mean and make hurtful comments about me and my husband. My brother-in-law is younger than my husband. He always tries to dictate how my family treat each other and demands to be involved in everything, no matter how big or small. I've distanced myself from him, but I kept in contact with my sister. Throughout my pregnancy, he kept acting strange and making fun of everything my husband and I said about our baby. My sister is currently pregnant. I didn't know that because she didn't tell me, seeing that we're in the middle of grieving and she probably hasn't found the right time yet. Yesterday, I got mail sent from my brother-in-law. I was confused since we don't talk at all. I opened the envelope to find a copy of a pregnancy test that belongs to my sister with a small note with the words, "I'm so sorry for yours and your husband's loss," handwritten. I was shocked, dumbfounded. I was mad, so mad. This is how I learned that my sister is pregnant for the first time. My husband saw it and he was livid. We went to see my family. I told my sister what happened. She was upset but immediately left the house. My mother, father and older sister were sitting with us. And they argued with me, saying I shouldn't have told my sister because I might have just caused a huge issue and I should have just thrown the mail away and ignored him. My mom freaked out and said that brother-in-law is a jerk, but being petty isn't the answer. She asked if I want my sister to resent my brother-in-law just because we both don't get along. My husband and I got into an argument with her. My dad saw where we're coming from but said I shouldn't have told her. They themselves didn't know about the pregnancy. They said that my brother-in-law would have told the entire family if he had bad intentions. We left the house after the argument. My mom kept berating me, saying I'm now responsible for whatever happens with my sister. I stopped taking their calls to think about it, and it's terrible. My husband and I decided to go no contact to regain our strength. I don't know if I'll be able to talk to my sister to see what happened with her. My mom keeps trying to call to guilt me about the situation. If your sister's marriage depends on everyone hiding her husband's true personality from her, then it's effed either way. You're not the asshole, but your entire family, minus sis with shitty husband, sure is. Edit, holy moly. Went to work and came back to this. It feels weird to give thanks on a post about someone else's misfortune, but while I appreciate the awards, I'd like to use this platform to request that anyone else thinking of gilding instead donate to an infant loss or family violence charity organization of your choice rather than spend it on this comment. If you're not sure where to donate, you can look up nonprofit ratings at charitywatch.org. Thank you, and let's keep watching out for each other. Not the asshole. Christ. Your brother-in-law went out of his way to try to be hurtful to you and your husband. He knew what he was doing, and your sister had a right to know the type of man she married. This wasn't a simple pregnancy announcement. He went out of his way to send you the used tests. Who does that? I am so sorry for your loss, and for this awful attack that was made on you. AITA, it wasn't a used test, but still super fucked up. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law sounds psychotic. There was no need to send you their pregnancy test. That's some abhorrent crap right there. Anyone saying you've caused drama needs a wake-up call. Your brother-in-law caused the issue when he decided to be a sicko. I am so dreadfully sorry for your loss. I'm sending you lots of love and light. I hope you'll be okay. XXXXXX. She asked if I want my sister to resent my brother-in-law just because we both don't get along. I would want to know if my husband was doing something, saying something, acting shitty in any way, especially to my sister grieving for their child. I would question if that's the kind of man I want to father my own children, let alone be my partner for life. Not the asshole. You have a good relationship with your sister. I think she'd have been upset if you didn't tell her about this. I'm so very sorry for your loss. Not the asshole at all. I'm so sorry for your loss and I'm sorry that your parents haven't been more supportive. I would make contact with your sister to check in and see if she is okay. I think you are right that she hasn't known how to tell you and she is probably mortified that her husband has done this. I think it's worth letting her know that you don't blame her, it reads like you don't, and if it wouldn't be too painful for you and your husband, letting her know that if she needs to talk things through with you she can. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry for your loss. What your brother-in-law did is beyond weird and telling your sister makes sense. I'd suggest ignoring them for now and focus on just taking care of yourself. What the fuck, not the asshole? How can your parents pin this on you? The letter you were sent was filled with so much spite, I'd say that was just pure evil. What a vile and heartless thing to do to a grieving couple. Oh my God, I am so sorry for what you and your husband are going through, Op. The loss of a child followed up with a spiteful letter and now your parents trying to guilt you? OMG, not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. Not the asshole, holy fuck. What an absolute asshole that guy is. Not the asshole. Why are your parents so invested in protecting your sister and not you? This is a huge issue and the family needs to be aware of it. Your brother-in-law is a twisted dude and your sister needs to know it. You don't want her to be blindsided when he turns on her or your parents. The notion that you're responsible if anything happens to your sister, as strange as brother-in-law, is probably going to be the culprit. Don't take their calls until they think this through and start putting the blame where it belongs and understand how horrible brother-in-law was to you and your husband. I'm really sorry for your loss. Dumping this sadistic message on top is emotionally devastating for both of you. Not the asshole, you did the Riggeth thing. Do you think that a guy who mocks miscarriaged mothers is a good material for a parent? Nice done for saying what you said. Not the asshole. It would have been so easy for your brother-in-law to just not. He went out of his way to antagonize you in a time of grief. It's bullshit that your family is somehow blaming you for the fallout. You were reacting to Bill's shitty actions, that's on him. So sorry for your loss. Not the asshole. You told your sister about something so cruelly insensitive that her husband did. You acted a lot more calmly than I would have. And I am so very sorry for your loss. I hope you can find a moment of peace in the midst of this tragedy. Not the asshole. They said my brother-in-law would have told the entire family if he had bad intentions. And that makes sense why? Face with raised eyebrow. That's not a well thought out argument. Thinking face with rolling eyes. Not the asshole. First, let me say I am sorry you have to go through all of this during such a hard time. Second, you were correct to tell your sister what your brother-in-law did for no other reason than he will never face the consequences of his actions, and thus not ever stop doing these cruel things, if you don't tell her what he does. Your sister is not at fault for her husband's actions, but, unfortunately, his actions do reflect on her and she is the only person in a position to do something about it. Not the asshole. I hope she leaves him. Firstly, sorry for your loss. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law sounds like an insecure bully who wants to isolate your sister from family. You did the right thing, and as for your parents saying if he had bad intentions he would have told the whole family, I believe quite the opposite. Separation one at a time is easier, and if it was a genuine announcement he would have sent a message to everybody. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law purposely went out of his way to be in awe. He wanted to rub his good news in your face disguised as sympathy. Your family is enabling his assholeness by letting his actions slide. Maybe it's time to go no contact. NTA. Your Bill seems like a truly bad person. It's best that your sister knows now what he's capable of so she can really think through if she wants to have a baby with this kind of man. Your dad's logic makes no sense. If Bill hadn't been trying to be purposefully cruel to you he simply would have announced pregnancy to everyone. Not the asshole. Distance yourself from them immediately and do not engage them in any conversation. You need self-care and that evil brother-in-law will try to traumatize you. Don't let him. Ask yourself, if this was your partner doing this crap, would you want to know? Hells yes. And WTAF. I think your family sees you as an easy target because they know brother-in-law won't change. In their eyes, you are easier to control. I'm very sorry for your loss. I hope you and your husband can find solace in one another or with his family. Not the asshole. Your mom knows what her Sil did was incredibly shitty and it's blaming you instead of calling that guy up and ripping him a new asshole. You're not the asshole. Your mom is an asshole. Bill, asshole of the fucking decade. I'm hopeful that your sister divorces the garbage she's married to. Your parents seem to think that you're to blame for your BIL's cruelty? What the fuck is wrong with them? Even the issue of him outing the pregnancy by going behind his wife's back is slimy. But him rubbing it in the faces of grieving parents is just so wrong. I can't believe your parents feel justified in piling on. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You've done your sister a favor by telling her what kind of person her husband is to others. Losing a child is nothing to make such comments about. I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the asshole. Your sister deserved to know her husband as being a terrible human being to someone she loves and is close to. She should not have to go into raising a child with a guy who apparently likes to torment her sister over a miscarriage with news of her own pregnancy. Who even does that? NTA. Your sister deserves to know her husband is a monster and intentionally hurt you and your husband. First, I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the asshole. That guy is a monster and you did your sister a favor by telling her this. This was such an awful thing, I'm actually lost for words. Your family's reaction surprises me as well. Somebody in your close family does this and they want to sweep it under the rug? Ah, you know your Bill, silly boy, just sit tight and take whatever abuse he dishes out. Oh, and be quiet about it too. Not the asshole. Your sister needs to know so she can't ignore his cruel, mean behavior. He sounds selfish and I can't see him not being mean, cruel to his own kid because the baby is taking all of its mother's attention. And a lot of abusers ramp up the bad behavior toward the significant other when they think they got the significant other nailed down with a kid. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law is psychotic. I would tell your parents to imagine this the other way, a congratulations card with a photo of a miscarriage underneath. Maybe then they can realize how evil this man is. They said that my brother-in-law would have told the entire family if he had bad intentions. No, he would have told the whole family if he didn't have bad intentions. Instead he targeted only the people who just lost a baby. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law is a massive awe. That's such a weird and mean thing to do. Talk about some real serial killer shit. There's creepy and then there's just hateful and I think your brother-in-law is both. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry for your loss. What he did was wrong and inappropriate. Your family are pretty awful too. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry for your loss. Your sister needs to know how awful her husband is being. Not the asshole. Your sister absolutely deserves, and no doubt wants to know what a jerk and cruel person her husband is. Why should you hide his horrible actions in order to protect their marriage? Why? Her husband is a mean, cruel bully, and the faster your sister knows, the better. You did your sister a favor, and hopefully she leaves her husband. Not the asshole. Hopefully you're responsible for her leaving that asshole. Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law is. And your mother, too, to be honest. He's the one stirring shit up. He should deal with the consequences. Sorry for your loss. What is wrong with your family? Are they concerned that your brother-in-law is abusive? It seems like it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. He is exceptionally cruel. I am so sorry for your loss. I hope you and your husband can find some peace. Not the asshole. You aren't responsible for your BIL's actions. If he didn't want people knowing he did that, he shouldn't have done it in the first place. The real problem here is why is your mother so defensive of him? To the point of blaming you for his actions? I agree you probably shouldn't have told the whole family at once since your sister won't get that happy moment of sharing it with family, but rather you should have told her alone. Not the asshole. Even if you had overreacted, given the recent nature of your loss, that could have been understandable and would have made you NTA. However, I don't even think you overreacted. The brother-in-law maliciously went out of his way to send you that. He's a my opinion jerk. And frankly, your sister deserves to know about that. They said that my brother-in-law would have told the entire family if he had bad intentions. What kind of logic is this? If he told the whole family, then he would just be announcing the pregnancy. Telling just op with that snarky note is obviously meant to be hurtful. It hasn't even been 2 weeks since she lost her baby and he just couldn't resist. What an asshole. Not the asshole op, hang in there. I would seriously do whatever I could to avoid that guy. NTA, that was beyond horrible what he did. He was well aware of your loss and intentionally sent that to hurt you. And the rest of your family can stuff it with you not telling his wife what he did. It was uncalled for and hurtful, and she should be aware the kind of things like that her husband is doing to family. Not the asshole. I would also say great, your sister and husband is also not the asshole. She didn't do anything wrong. Everyone else is. Did it ever occur to you that your sister's husband is awful to you because the two of you are so close? Trying to isolate a partner from their loved ones, it's step 1 in the abuse handbook. If he tries to control you, just imagine what we is doing to her. You are not the asshole for telling her, but open your eyes. Not the asshole. He's a huge asshole. All he had to do was nothing at all, but he couldn't manage that. If he truly thought that he did nothing wrong, why didn't he tell his wife he did this? I think brother-in-law need a punch in the face. Not the asshole. That was an absolutely disgusting thing for brother-in-law to do, and he's a deplorable person for doing it. That is horrible. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, like OMG. Not the asshole op, time to go NC. Not the asshole, but man, your family really has zero respect for your sister. They can't even see her as a full person. OMG, he is pure evil. Who does that? It's beyond insensitive. It's pathological to find the pregnancy test, put a congratulations note on it, and mail it to you literally days after you've lost your baby. Sick, sick, sick. Your sister needs to know what she is married to. Cannot emphasize this enough. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, your brother-in-law is a monster and a bully. This needs to be talked about within the family, as he could also be abusive towards your sister. Not saying that he is abusing her, but this type of controlling, bullying behavior is a red flag. Keep an eye on sis. Sorry for your loss. Hugs from a stranger.